Well, let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu then. It is clear that you are one of his loudest critics. There is concern and has been concern since the start of this war that Benjamin Netanyahu would overreact. I'm not sure what we're seeing is an overreaction, but let's just pretend for a moment that Benjamin Netanyahu can achieve this stated objective of wiping out Hamas. What happens next, Ehud? Can Benjamin Netanyahu be part of any solution, a two-state solution on the other side? And when it comes down to it, no one is talking about perhaps the intelligence failure that allowed this to happen. The military takes accountability in your country, but what about elected officials?
Okay, let's draw a certain distinction between the different parts of this long question. Number one, I don't want to speak for Netanyahu or for his government. Okay, that is clear. I can speak for what I think Israel as a country, as a state, has to do. What we has to make clear and to spell it out in the most explicit manner is that once the military action is completed, we pull out entirely from Gaza. That's number one. We have to make clear that we are not looking for any occupation of any part of Gaza. I was one of the main pushers at the time, 18 years ago, to pull out from Gaza when I was the vice prime minister of Israel at the time of Sharon. And I advocated it, and I don't want to come back to Gaza. Okay, so once we complete the military action, we have number one to pull out. Number two, the state of Israel has to provide a political horizon that may help buy some time with the international community to justify a continuation of the military action if there is a clear understanding that afterwards there will be a political process. And what the government of Israel has to do, the state of Israel has to do, is to declare that at the end of the military action, Israel is prepared to embark immediately on negotiations for a two-state solution. Now, you can ask me, will the government of Netanyahu do it? No, there is not a chance that Netanyahu will do it. Therefore, it is another reason why he has to be thrown out today.
Well, at what point does that happen, Ehud? You're saying he needs to be thrown out today?
I hope so. And I think that there is a good chance that this government will not hold for much longer. How much longer, I don't know. A matter of days, a matter of weeks, a matter of few months, not more than that.
And you're saying, Ehud, with Benjamin Netanyahu in power, the war will never end?
Yeah, I think that he is gone. He's history. No one is capable of holding to power after the terrible failure, which was the outright outcome of his policies, of his priorities, of the fact that he downgraded the Palestinian Authority and flirted with Hamas for years and years and years, because Hamas has never been seen, could never be, a partner for peace negotiations. So it was much more comfortable to deal with Hamas rather than to allow the Palestinian Authority to join forces with us in order to conduct meaningful peace negotiations. Because peace negotiations naturally means also the withdrawal from territories which are occupied by the state of Israel and which Netanyahu doesn't want to withdraw from. So what we need to do now is to provide a political horizon. This government will not do it, and therefore this government is doomed. It's just a matter of, as I said, a relatively short time. Whoever will, I don't know whether there will be early elections within 3 months or whether there will be constructive no confidence motion, which will allow someone else to be appointed as prime minister, even for a short period of time before there will be general elections.
In terms of a solution, Ehud, you seem to be talking more about a change in the power dynamic in Israel. Perhaps it's a coalition, perhaps it isn't. So does that mean, therefore, that you don't think seeking a UN Security Council resolution is the right way to go? I take you back to 2006 when you were Prime Minister. Israel was at war with Lebanon. Hamas had taken control of Gaza at that point. There was a 1701 UN Security Council resolution at that point. It was good in theory, perhaps not in practice. So do you think Israel should still be striving for that? Or is it different this time around?
Let's again draw a distinction between Lebanon and Gaza. In
Of course.
Lebanon, the UN Security Council decided unanimously on the resolution 1701, which forced the Hezbollah to move away from the border with Israel. And they obliged because they had no chance, because we devastated them in the military confrontation which they started. So, and that held for 17 years until the last few weeks when they joined in and utilizing the weakness of the Israeli government to move forward to the border, and then some skirmishes occurred between us and them. Now they are also holding fire. But this is an issue which will have to be dealt with soon after we are done with Gaza. In Gaza, we tried in 2008 in a custody operation to break the power of Hezbollah. We were very close to it. Unfortunately, it was at the end of my term. It was a few weeks before the elections. Unfortunately, most of the military and the establishment, the defense establishment of Israel was against continuing this military action, and we lost the opportunity then to break down the Hamas at a much less cost than it is now, and this was a terrible misdeed that I regret to this day. Afterwards, Netanyahu took over, and as I said, he preferred to deal with Hamas rather than to fight with Hamas, although he said that the first priority of his government will be to destroy Hamas, but practically he found all kinds of ways to help them, and he used the money from Qatar to finance them, and they used this money in order to build all the infrastructure, which is now we are fighting against.